And so in March of this year, I suspended my campaign, and I was fully prepared to be a private citizen. In fact, I want to be blunt with you. I was excited about it in many ways. Because it meant more time, less hassle, more time with my children who are still very young. And quite frankly, there's other things I want to achieve in life. But it became apparent to me, and quite frankly to some of the other people running for the U.S. Senate, that if I didn't run, we could lose the seat. In fact, we probably would. The Lieutenant Governor of Florida is a very close and dear friend of mine. Many of you may have met Carlos before. And he came to me a week before it was too late to change my mind and said, look, I'm in this race. I'm happy to be in this race. I'm working hard. But after everything we've gone through over the last year, I'm pretty convinced that if we don't run, we're probably going to lose. And I thought about that for a moment. What would that mean? If we lose the Senate race in Florida, it means we probably lose the Senate majority in Washington. And if we lose the Senate majority in Washington, that means Chuck Schumer of New York becomes the majority leader. And let me tell you what the next thing means. The next thing means that we today have 8 Supreme Court justices and 1 vacancy after the tragic passing of Justice Scalia. In the modern history of the Supreme Court, no one has understood better than Justice Scalia the proper role of the Supreme Court. The next president will appoint that nominee, but the Senate must confirm them. And I promise you that if Chuck Schumer is in charge of the U.S. Senate, the person they will confirm in that Senate will be nothing like the kind of justice that you want, and nothing like the kind of justice Scalia was. The next person appointed to the Supreme Court will not be someone that applies and interprets the Constitution the way the framers originally intended. It will be someone that will interpret the Constitution to reach whatever policy outcome that person wants. And that is not what our Constitution says the Supreme Court is supposed to do. And if you lose that seat, if you lose this Florida seat and the Supreme Court tilts in that direction, think about it this way. That person nominated to that spot in the Supreme Court, on average, will serve a quarter century, 20 to 25 years. That is 3 8-year presidencies. That means my 9-year-old child will be close to their mid-30s when that vacancy happens again. That is not just how consequential, but how long that decision will reverberate in America. And that, among other reasons, is why, in the end, I changed my mind and decided to run. Because I got into public office to make a difference. And this gave me a chance to once again make a difference in the outcome in the race, in the balance of power in the Senate, and ultimately in the direction of our country.